All right, guys, welcome to Facebook Live. Just wanted to get on here really fast. We have a special guest with us here today. Before I bring her on, obviously we do these to help new agents, maybe someone that's been around for a little while. And we always want someone to take a little piece of it and go, man, if I could just do that, if I could just implement that, I would do 5 times better, right? Or it would make it that much more simple for me, right? Because we're really big on keeping things simple. What we do is very simple. People fill out leads. They fill out requests for life insurance. We go and help those families with life insurance, and then we go to the next family. It's very simple. And people try to overcomplicate it, like they really do. So who I have on today, I want her to kind of share her thought process of how she's kind of doing what she's doing with us, right? And where she kind of came from and where she's trying to go, right? Because I think if a lot of agents just had this process, this thought process, they would start making money a lot faster with us, right? So before I do that, biggest thing, guys, is what she's going to talk about is making sure you're plugging into your resources, making sure you're plugging into the training and asking for help. So today we have Susan Helton on with us. Give you a little bit of round of applause here. And here's the thing, like a lot of people don't really realize, and I'm going to let you kind of explain where you came from, but a lot of people don't really realize, I think, how good we have it at FFL, right? And they're like, well, this other company, no. I'm like, go check it out. Like, I'm telling you, it's not what you think it is, right? So anyway, tell them a little bit about you, right? Give them a little background, who you are, where you come from, and then I'll kind of ask you some more questions, right? We'll go, where you came from to here and kind of what you're doing. So.
Okay. Well, my name is Susan. I originally went into nursing and retired from that, but I've always been passionate about helping other people. So I knew I wanted to go into something else that I could continue to help other people. So I thought, well, I can help people with their insurance. Mm-hmm. And so I went to another IMO. I was with them for almost a year and didn't sell anything off their leads that I got. With FFL, I have been very successful with the leads. You just have to continue to dial, and you have to purchase your leads.
What do I need to do to get a country accent like you? How do I do that?
You have to be raised up in Eastern Kentucky, I guess.
It's funny because I where I'm from, I was born, I guess you want to quote unquote call it the South, like not really because I don't have an accent like you, but I had a little bit of a like country twang, I guess, and I moved from the Panhandle of Florida. And I moved down, in Central Florida, and anybody's house I'd go to, they're like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from here. I'm from Florida. They're like, no, you're not. You're from Kentucky or something. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm from Florida, and they're like, you must be from Alabama or something. I'm like, I swear I'm from Florida, So, but it's funny because I don't have an accent like you, obviously. It's like people definitely know, okay, she's from the South, So.
People
anyway.
I've lived down here for 3 years now, and people will actually just get me talking so they can hear the accent.
Hey, it's part of it. That's why you're selling so much insurance. I'm a firm believer of that. So, but no, I mean, seriously, you come from another company, right? Which we won't say any names, but
yes, sir.
They're people know about them, right? And a lot of agents actually come and work with us for one of those reasons, right? But question, what was one thing that stuck out to you about Family First Life? Like what made you go, I should look into that?
I had actually done a lot of research about Family First Life because I wasn't being successful with this other IMO that I was currently with. So I wanted to try to find a company that I would fit in with and things. And with FFL, if you're willing to put in the time and learn, there's no reason anybody wouldn't be successful with this company because, like I said, I'd done tons of research, and it just seemed like a good fit for me. I didn't have an agent to contact me or anything. I actually contacted FFL.
Right.
And said, look, I think you got what I need.
Yep. It's crazy because you found us you saw one of our YouTube videos, and then you got us on Facebook.
Yes.
And then you're like, hey, like I need help. Like,
yes.
Can someone call me, please?
I actually did. I sent out I called and left a message and then got a call back. I think actually the same day.
Mm-hmm. Oh
and
yeah.
Things.
Oh yeah.
And
People in
set
our
up
office
an
like
interview.
absolutely. That's the goal here. Is like, hey, we're trying to help. We're trying to help people. Cool. All right. So enough about that. So you get started. Obviously, you had to have had some doubt, right?
I did, of course. I feel like I kind of got burned from the other company because I didn't get the training that I needed, and right away with FFL, I was put into boot camp, and the boot camp is fantastic if you're willing to watch the videos and actually listen to what they're saying and things. You actually get a lot from it. And I actually like boot camp so much. I've actually went back and watched a lot of the videos a second and a third time, and a couple of them even a fourth time.
Yep.
And the reason I have done that is because I want to make sure that I know what I need to do. Not that I know anything right now. I'm still
Right.
just learning.
Right.
But I want to be able to help the clients that I sit with.
Yeah.
And make sure that I put them into the best programs that are available for them.
How was the support here?
The support is 110%. You couldn't ask for any better.
What? And I'm not trying to ask you like a trick question. I'm just genuinely curious because a lot of agents that come into business with us, they see the numbers, and they're like, that can't be real. There's no way that agent went and wrote $5,000 their first week. I just don't believe it. And I'm like, I'll put you on the phone with one of our agents. Like we have nothing to hide, But I think a lot of it is because we have people like yourself that are actually willing to go out and do the work. But we really try to be there for agents. Like when I tell agents, call me, I mean it,
Well, and you may not order tell me to call you because anytime I have a question or don't know something, I'm going to get on the phone and give you a call or shoot you a text.
That's what we're here for.
And that's the thing is you just have to plug into your upline.
Right.
And, you have to educate yourself as well. You can't completely rely on your upline, but you have to stay connected with that upline.
That's one thing, not to cut you off, that's one thing I really love about you, though, because if you call me and, like, I try to answer my phone. I really do the best we can. We got a bunch of agents that are working with us in the field. We have an agent hotline that you can call, but it's like, if you call me and I don't answer, I'm busy. So you're like, well, Jerrod didn't answer. I'm just going to call Americo, And, like, some agents, they'll be like, I called you, and I'm like, and? They're like, well, you didn't answer. I'm like, well, who else did you call? Well, nobody. I was waiting on you to get me the answer. I'm like, dude, don't wait on me. I'm gonna call you back, but dude, this is your business. You're like, screw that. I ain't waiting on you, bro. I'm gonna call the carrier. I love that about you. So
yeah, and I know you have a business to run as well. You're not there to babysit me, and I can read and
right
and things, and I know how to just get on the phone and call someone else if you're not available at the time.
It's not that deep,
No.
And that was one of the things I think I remember you saying. It might have been somebody else, but I was like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going through it. And you're just like, yeah, it's not that deep. I mean, call the company. Like, if I can't figure it out, I'm like, I like her.
Yes.
I like her. So, okay, let's talk about you. So you get started with us. And I know you had some leads from the previous company, right?
Yes.
Right, which were older and, but I was like, we're talking about it, and you're like, should I call through these leads? Should I work them? And I'm like, absolutely, yeah, see what you can get. But you pretty much bought leads with us right away.
I did.
Right?
I actually, because of all the videos and things that I had watched, and I kept watching these numbers, and all these other agents were making tons of money. That is almost unbelievable until you actually start doing it yourself and things. And I thought, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
So I went all in, bought leads. My husband tried to get me to go cheap. And I'm like, nope, I'm just going to do it.
Tell him about that real quick, because you were telling me about that in my office earlier. So he tried to get you to spend, what, $100 on leads?
He wanted me to spend $100 on leads and see what I could do. And I'll be honest with you, I hadn't had no success with the other company that I was with. So I was down and broke. I had $483 in my checking account, and I spent $463 of that on leads, which left me $20 for guys to run those appointments.
I love it. How much did you sold a couple grand just in the last couple of days?
Yes, I purchased the leads on Sunday, and this week so far, out of that $463 that I spent, I have sold almost $2,500 in
Nice.
premium
In a couple days.
in 2 days. Yes.
Love it. I don't know. I just don't know somewhere you can spend money and it spit back out to you like an ATM. And what's crazy is you and I both know you still have leads to work.
Yes, I
Off
still
that
have a
400.
ton of leads to work. Plus, I've already scheduled other appointments off that $400.
Love it. You know what's crazy? This is the other really big thing that I think stuck out to me is because you sent me the text, right? And like I knew she wasn't messing around because she sent me a picture of her bank account. She was like, "Hey, this is how much I have in my account,"
I
right?
did.
And I'm like, "Got it," you know. And she goes, "But I just spent $460 something." And I was like, "Wow, she's serious." And instantly when I read that message, I knew. I was like, "She's gonna make sales in the next couple of days." I just knew it. And the reason why is because you're putting yourself out there. Most agents won't have success because they're not willing to put themselves out there. They'll have $2,000 in their account and they'll go, 250 on leads? Not me. What if I lose that 250? I'm like, you're gonna lose the whole $2,000 if you don't do something, you know? And they're like, I ain't doing it, you know? And they just never make it, and that's okay. What we do is not for everybody. But one thing I loved about you is you go, I'm going to make it work. It's always a
Yes.
positivity, right? And I called you. I'm like, hey, you bought some leads. I'm gonna help you. You know, we're gonna work it out. But one thing I love that you said is you went and had success on the $400. See, most agents would go, well, I only bought 400. I had success. I'm gonna just keep buying 400. What did you tell me in my office earlier today? What is your goal to do by August 1?
My goal from August 1, because, it is a numbers game, and I know people say that all the time, but it really is. The more contacts you have, the better your success rate is going to be. So my goal by August 1 is to be able to spend $1,000 per dial day,
Love it. So $2,000 a week.
$2,000 a week.
It's crazy because there's people like Shoddy, Dan, Easton, Pat. I mean, I could go down the list. I'll miss somebody. That sell 70, 80, 90 grand a month. And they'll tell you, they're like, I'm nothing special. I just spend a lot on leads. And I work really hard, you know?
Well, I figure if I can turn 400 into 2,500 to 3,000 within a week, if I take $2,000, then what am I going to make that week?
Exactly. And it's crazy because there's been a couple of people, there's some videos out there that will break this down, but it's like, and we can close with this unless you have something else you want to throw out there, but a lot of new agents will come in the same exact mindset as your husband. Let's go cheap, right? What if it doesn't work, right? And I'm like, yeah, what if it doesn't work? You know, who cares? You did it. You might as well as go all in, doing your best, kicking and screaming, giving it your all and say it didn't work. But if you half-ass, excuse my, but it's like if you go in halfway, I don't know. That's just not me. Because then I'll know, man, I didn't give it my all.
And that's not me.
Right. I know it's not you, which is why you're having some success. But the thing about it is most agents will go, I'll tell them, how much can you afford to spend on leads, right? And it's funny because they mess with me. They're like, well, how much? I'm like, that's not what I asked you. How much can you afford to spend on leads? Like, spend $3,000 if you can, But they go, well, I could spend, like $500. And like, I was even talking to an agent earlier today, and she's like, well, I want to get these Facebook leads, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, you can do whatever you want. Facebook leads are great. But here's the thing. If I told you, right, let's say you're starting a new sport, right? Let's say it's baseball. Do you think you're going to get better, quicker, swinging 5 times a day at batting practice or 100 times a day?
Definitely 100 times a day.
Definitely 100. Is it going to take more work? Yeah. Are you going to be more sore? Yeah. Are you going to be there longer? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're getting more practice, and that's why I try to tell agents, it's like, get as many freaking leads as possible. And one thing with you is you want more. It's like, I want to spend more on leads. And I think if anything could take away anything from this is understanding you, like you said, you have to put the money in. So when agents go, well, I'm just going to spend $500 because that's what I can get away with. I'm like, you actually have more risk of spending a couple $100s than $500 or $1,000 because, like you just said, it is a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
If you had 100 freaking people to call, let's say half of them tell you to go kick sand, right? You get some disconnected numbers, whatever. You're still going to have 15, 20, 25, 30 people. Worst case scenario to work, and door knocks or whatever. You're going to be able to go right 5, 10, 15 grand off of that. But if you got 20 leads, and half of them are disconnected or whatever, it's like you're only going to write maybe a couple of policies. So you actually have more risk of spend. Does that make sense?
Yes. Totally.
So anyway, I'm super happy of what you're doing,
Well, thank you.
I'm proud of you. I know you're going to be doing a lot more soon.
I'm going to climb that leaderboard.
Let's do it. So just so we can get this on camera, because we're going to record this, so I'm going to get you on camera. What is your goal? Where do you want to finish up this month, issue paid? And what is your goal for August?
My goal for this month is to issue at least 20,000 paid.
Love it.
And August, I'm going to double that.
Let's do it. I think you can do it. I know
can
you can do it. I know you can do it without a doubt. Is there anything you'd like to leave? Because a lot of people are going to watch this, period, but mainly new agents. Is there any tip, any piece of advice you would give them where you're at now, or is there something that you could go back and change, like anything at all you would tell someone you think that would help them?
I would just say plug into the mentorship, and don't rely on them 100%, but make sure you stay connected and just plug into them. Invest in the leads, invest in yourself.
Love it.
And things. Do not try to invent the wheel. It's already been done. You just duplicate it.
Yeah, just duplicate it. Real quick before we sign off, how far do you live from the office?
It actually takes me about 2.5 hours to get over to the office.
2.5 hours. Because we're here in the newer Orlando building, really big building. It's massive.
Beautiful building.
I get lost in it sometimes. I'm like, man, I gotta get a map of this thing, So if you're in Orlando, get with us. We have work spots, right? Come in, get you a place to dial, right? We have top producers in here all over the place selling 40, 50, 60, 70 grand a month. We have meetings every week. Definitely come in the office, be a part of it. But it's 2 hours one way.
It's about 2 hours and 30 minutes one way.
30 minutes. She's like, don't ask me because I'll give you the real time. And now, obviously, we have an office actually closer to you, which we're going to get you. And that's a great thing about work spots is you can go anywhere.
Yes.
Right. And I appreciate the fact that you're like, no, I've been dealing with you. I'm coming to Orlando office. Like, I'm getting with you, which you're more than welcome at any office you want. But we will get you with some other offices and that way, because we had the conversation this morning. It's like you're more valuable on the phone dialing instead of driving, sitting in traffic on I-4. You're going to want to shoot somebody. But why do you come to the office? Just curious.
I come to the office to be around other agents and things, because anytime you're around other agents, you become like-minded. That's what I've always said. And, if you're around those agents, then you're going to pick up on some things that they do.
Mm.
And I've always said you become the 5 people you hang around with the most.
Love it.
So if I'm going into the office and meeting with top producers making 40, 50, 60,000 a month, then there's a good chance that I'm going to start making that amount.
That's right.
And that's my goal.
That's it. Love it. Well, I appreciate you once again. Thank you for getting on.
You're welcome.
Guys, I hope this was helpful, and hopefully we'll definitely be getting you on a lot more podcasts here soon. I can't wait to get you on the next one and tell everybody how you issued 40 grand. So anyway, I'll give you another round of applause here. So Miss Susan Helton here, and we'll definitely be talking to you guys soon. Later, guys.